why not Jim Webb? So I say that because Jim Webb ran in the Democratic primary for about a day and a half. Martin O'Malley ran, you probably remember him, and Lincoln Chafee ran. And so the mainstream media tells us that this Bernie Sanders thing, he's a fringe candidate and he doesn't have a chance. And no, my favorite thing is it's a protest vote and they're trying to send a message, et cetera. So that's why I bring up Jim Webb. Why didn't people want to send a message through Jim Webb? Why didn't they want to send a message through Lincoln Chafee or Martin O'Malley? So people, like the guys in the corporate media, they're flummoxed. They're like, Bernie Sanders, what's wrong with Bernie Sanders? It's because of clips like the one I played on the Young Turks today, where on the Panama trade deal, Bernie Sanders was one of the few guys who came out and said, no, let's not do that deal. It's not about free trade. Panama's economy is microscopic. It will add nothing to the American economy. The real reason we're doing that trade deal is so that rich people can hide their money in offshore tax havens. And this week it turns out, yeah, rich people from all across the world, including some corrupt politicians, were hiding their money in Panama, in an offshore tax haven, right? Though that scandal is now called the Panama Papers. Mm-hmm. And Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of State, was like, oh, the Panama trade deal. What a great deal. She bragged about it. I also showed that on the show today, right? So it's not an accident that people are supporting Bernie Sanders. They didn't pick him out of a hat, okay? They had plenty of options. The reason they're supporting Bernie Sanders is because the guy's been right for 40 years. You go and I can find a speech for you from Bernie Sanders almost anywhere along this timeline where you say, God, that Iraq war speech, Jesus Christ, did he nail that? Yeah. Man, all the things he warned about kind of happened, right?
Panama Papers.
Panama Papers. You go down the list. So it's for the mainstream media that can't understand it, that's flummoxed by it and wants to dismiss it, it's actually based on something you don't understand. It's called substance. So I just want to say one more thing, Anna.
Sure.
So the great irony is that same media will turn around and go, the young people, they're supporting Bernie Sanders because they don't know what they're talking about. They're low information voters.
Yep,
right? No, they're high information voters. They've seen those speeches online. They weren't around when he was giving the Iraq war speech. They were infants when he was giving the Iraq war speech. They saw it online. Did you show it? No, you've never shown that speech, have you? Did you show Hillary Clinton's pro-Iraq war speech? No, you didn't show that either. But they got that information because they're high information voters.
Yeah, so I want to add to that. I mean, we've talked about, young voters and how much they're underestimated in elections, which is incredible. Hillary underestimated young voters when she was running against Obama. How did that turn out for her? And she's doing the exact same thing in this election, and it's working against her. And she seems to think that these people are voting against her for stupid reasons, like, they're sexist, or, they're low information voters. No, they're voting against you because they're high information voters. They care about your record, they care about your policies, they look into it, and they realize, hey, you know what? We want the politician who looks out for us. We don't want a politician who starts the negotiating with, $15 an hour might be too tough. Let's start at $12 an hour. That's not a leader. A leader fights and fights aggressively, and that's what Bernie's doing. Another thing that I wanted to mention is, sometimes when we do these election events, very few, but once in a while we'll get comments or tweets from people who compare us to the progressive version of Fox News, right?
Yes.
And so I just want to address that very quickly. So I don't want anyone to take whatever we say at face value to just believe us off the bat. You have the power of the internet. You have all the resources at your fingertips. Please research these issues, research our statements, call us out if you think we're wrong. I encourage you to do that. But with that said, what Fox News does is they intentionally mislead the audience and give them misinformation to support whatever candidates they like, right? The most right-wing, staunch conservatives. We support Bernie, and we're clear and honest about the fact that we support Bernie because he goes along with our deeply held political views, that politics is corrupt and we need to get the money out of politics. That's something that we've been arguing about on the show way before Bernie even mentioned that he was going to run, right? Yeah. So we're not here to persuade anyone to vote one way or another. We're here to inform you. You make your own decisions. To say that we are the equivalent of Fox News, but on the progressive side, is ridiculous.
Yeah, and on the internet where we do the show, you don't have the luxury of being wrong or BSing people,
Right.
Because the audience will leave, right? Like the TV's used to an audience that's literally captive. They're captivated by that little box that was in their living room. It's been in their living room for 50, 60 years, and you can't go outside of the box, literally, right? In our case, you have a million options. If you think we're BSing you or lying or you can prove we're wrong, you're gonna leave, right? And you're gonna call us out on it right here in the comment section or on Facebook or on social media. So we can't pull a Fox News. Fox News, by the way, according to, I believe it was Gabriel Sherman's reporting, Fraud Rails, which runs Fox News, actively said that he wanted to pick the president in 2012. Okay, and he had secret meetings with Chris Christie, try to urge him to run, and then General David Petraeus, okay, to get a general to run against Obama. And that's clear. That's been reported by many different sources. And meanwhile, do they say it on air? Do the Fox News hosts come out and go, oh yeah, that's right. We're trying to get David Petraeus to run against Obama because we hate Obama. And in fact, we want to control the Republican Party, right? Of course they don't say that. They're bathed in lies and deception, right? So yes, there's all the difference in the world. And in terms of change, you mentioned change and the incremental change. Mm-hmm. You know, we're also talking about that on the Young Turks today in the first hour. And you know, as you look at Hillary Clinton's record, you realize it's not just a matter of, hey, do I want a revolution or do I just want a small change? Because sometimes she pushes for small change in the right direction, $12 minimum wage, but not 15, too much, right? But at least she's going towards a higher minimum wage. But sometimes she pushes for small or significant change in the wrong direction. So the Panama trade deal, which was set up to be corrupt. The whole point of the deal was let the rich take their money out of the country, hide it in an offshore tax haven, and they couldn't do that if we didn't sign that trade deal. It was aimed for the specific purpose of tax evasion.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, Bernie Sanders knew that at the time. We knew that at the time. I showed an old clip of me talking about it from Occupy Wall Street. It's not like it wasn't known. It was known. And they did that deal anyway. So sometimes, oh, don't worry. I'm just going to give you small change. Oh, yeah, small change towards pro-corporate, pro-millionaires, pro-billionaires, pro-establishment. So if you're just looking for a small change from Hillary Clinton, be careful what you wish for. You might get it.